Hello there, my name is Ben.
My name is Josh.
And welcome back to FPL Graduates.
So, in today's video we're going to be talking about the best premium assets that you should be getting in your team for game week 1.
Everyone knows this is the biggest part of FPL. Having those premium assets, who's going to bang, who's not going to play well, we're going to tell you who to pick.
Yeah, so we're going to start off in defence. We're not going to go for goalkeepers because no one picks 6.
Don't pick a premium goalkeeper, please.
So, starting off, Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's at 7.5 million, and for both of us, he's a must-have.
He's a must-have for anyone who plays FPL. If you don't have him in your team, what are you doing?
Yeah, there's been debate that he's not starting at the start of the season because he hasn't been playing pre-season, but I think he's a shoo-in. And then you also have his other-sided fullback, Andrew Robertson, a little bit cheaper at 7 million.
He is a lot less owned as well. He's only 11% owned, so it could be a little differential option if you want to get that big Liverpool defender in.
That's very true. You could also double up. You can see a lot of people do that. It's quite expensive though, 14.5 million on 2 defenders.
Yeah, it is a lot of eggs you're putting into one basket if you are going to make that double up, but you have to be careful because it could bite you in the bum.
You could, but maybe go for a Liverpool double up if you're not going for a Liverpool midfielder.
Maybe. Let's move on to midfield anyway.
Yes, so starting off, we're going to stay with Liverpool. Salah or Mane?
Well, I think the majority will go Salah for a good reason. Salah is so much more consistent than Sadio Mane.
Yeah, Salah is renowned for scoring at home games. Literally like every home game nearly he scored in last season. He only got 3 goals away from home though.
Yeah, it is very interesting to see. So maybe it is a case of that rotation, maybe using that free transfer to maybe pick and choose between Mane and Salah as you see fit.
I think that's going to happen a lot this season with the £12 million midfielders just rotating between them depending on their fixtures. Because we also have the likes of AUBAMEYANG at 12 million who got moved back from striker. He was in the Golden Boot race again this season. I think he's going to be a very good option in that Arsenal team.
Yeah, Aubameyang is the main man. He's going to score. He's always in the race for the Golden Boot ever since he's turned up to the club. So we can only see that when he has those good fixtures, you've got to jump on the bandwagon as quickly as possible.
Yeah, now moving on to the top FPL scorer last season, Kevin De Bruyne. He comes in at 11.5 million. He's not even the most expensive player in the game. He obviously isn't playing game week 1 and he is owned already by like nearly 40% of players.
It is a huge amount of people, and for everyone really, if you're not getting him, that is quite a big risk to take in terms of your
huge risk.
Overall points.
However, we've been discussing a little alternative is Raheem Sterling. He's below 5% ownership as we're making this video. He's the same price and he scores more goals than De Bruyne.
It is ridiculous how low owned Sterling is. We could see that he might pop off this season again.
Definitely.
He looked like at the tail end of last season, he was doing really well post-lockdown, getting lots of goals and lots of assists. Maybe you can replicate that form to the start of this season.
Moving to the other side of Manchester now, we're looking at Bruno Fernandes, £10.5 million. Manchester United have much easier fixtures than Man City to start the season when they go to Crystal Palace in game week 2. I think he is coming straight into my team. The guy just scores points.
Yeah, he is a great player, but for 10.5 million, it is also a big punt to take. There is a lot of other options in that United midfield. You've got the likes of Rashford, who's $1 million cheaper, and you've got Greenwood, obviously, who's only 7.5 million.
Yeah, very good options as well, but I feel with Bruno Fernandes, you're almost guaranteed a return almost every single game, if not multiple returns, because he's the base of everything that goes on in that team.
Stats from last season do not lie, but it's a case of whether he can pick that up and continue that form.
So, moving to Tottenham Hotspur and Harry Kane, £10.5 million. It's the cheapest Harry Kane's been in a long while. The guy scored 20 goals last season in the Premier League. That's more than Jimenez. Why haven't you got him in your team?
It is a case of maybe a lot of the big premium assets are in midfield, so you've gone through your team, you've already spent your money. Kane is a great asset to go for.
Definitely. And also, he's got Son behind him at 9 million. Again, it depends on how Mourinho sets up this season. He might be playing up front with Kane.
Yeah.
Good option.
It will definitely be a case of the first few game weeks, having a look and seeing, chopping and changing, depending on how Mourinho sets up, because it could be a case that Kane could get bags of goals this season under Mourinho. Second season and all that.
So, moving to another English striker, Jamie Vardy, the Golden Boot winner, £10 million. He's scoring goals.
Very cheap for that sort of player, but we also know he is getting on a bit. So, it is, again, another risk. Are you willing to take it? Will he replicate that season? Nobody knows.
I reckon he's a very high punt at the start of the season, especially without Ricardo Pereira, who provided a lot of the attacking input. James Maddison might not be back for the start of the season as well, so it's a big risk, but I think it definitely could pay off with the fixtures they've got to start the season.
Yeah, we'll just have to see whether Vardy can replicate that stunning form that he produced at last season and even seasons before that. So we'll just have to wait and see, I guess.
The last over 10 million forward is Sergio Aguero, again under 5% ownership. Understandable because he's just coming back from a knee injury, so he might not start the season, but Sergio Aguero at 10.5 million.
It is ridiculous how low percentage owned he is. He's something like 4% currently, and wow, he's so cheap for Aguero, and he gets goals. 20 goal season striker, and around that Man City team, that could be ridiculous amounts of points this season.
Yeah, so moving to our below 10 million strikers now, we've got TIMO Werner. He is owned by everyone. 40% ownership, 9.5 million, and that is why he could go off this year.
If he pops off, all the managers who haven't got him are going to be sweating, because if he starts scoring, he'll be scoring bags. He'll be scoring 2-3 goals a game, because that's the sort of player he is. And that is why a lot of people are taking a punt on him.
Definitely. You'll see his price rocket if he does go and start scoring goals from the beginning, because he's just so cheap and everyone can easily fit him in at that 9.5 million.
Yeah, he's just below that price point of the likes of De Bruyne, Sterling, Kane, that he is viable to get in at the start of the season and still getting a lot more premium assets in.
Definitely. The last and final player that we're going to speak about is Anthony Martial. He scored a lot of points last season from midfield and is spearheading that Man United attack. How do you think he's going to do this year?
I'm not too sure. Based on the fact that he is a hot and cold player, he will either go through purple patches where he's scoring goals left, right and centre, or he'll go through cold patches where he won't get a goal in weeks. He can be the most frustrating FPL set to own, but he also can be the most rewarding.
Definitely. So keep an eye out for the premium options. Let us know what you think down below and who you're going with in your Game Week 1 team.
I've been Ben.
I've been Josh. See you later.